Fala pessoal, tudo bem? Felipe Reis, CEO e um dos fundadores da Supersonic. E antes de mais nada, queria agradecer a todos por acompanharem sempre aqui os conteúdos que a gente divulga com muito carinho. E hoje a gente tem um conteúdo um pouco diferente, com um convidado especial por aqui. E o tema é Google Optimize, ferramentas de teste AB e mercado de forma geral. Passados aí os primeiros impactos da notícia de que em breve a gente não vai ter mais Google Optimize como uma das opções no mercado, para todos nós rodarmos testes AB, inclusive era uma das opções mais populares, né, para muitas empresas. Então, passado esse momento, é hora de avaliar, né, quais que são as melhores alternativas, quais os melhores caminhos para quem quiser continuar com seus programas de experimentação, rodando testes AB, e também para quem quiser levar esses esforços para outro nível, dado algumas limitações ali que o Google Optimize tinha. E nesse sentido, em uma parceria, né, com o pessoal da convert.com, uma das ferramentas mais populares hoje aí no mercado, numa breve apresentação, o Denis, que é o CEO e um dos fundadores da Convert, ele topou fazer uma apresentação especificamente para o público da Supersonic, para o público brasileiro, abordando vários pontos interessantes, tá? Entre eles, um pouco desse momento, né, de transição de ferramentas, né, da saída do mercado do Google Optimize. Comenta também sobre diversas ferramentas, não só sobre a Convert, né, algumas diferenças entre elas também, sobre alguns contextos específicos aí para o mercado brasileiro e também dando algumas dicas gerais, falando sobre a importância, né, dos esforços de otimização e quando que uma ferramenta começa a fazer sentido, né, quando que talvez não seja ainda o momento. Então tem pontos muito importantes, muito interessantes ali. No final, o Denis também traz, né, uma condição especial para quem estiver consumindo esse conteúdo, para o público da Supersonic e quiser testar a ferramenta. Eu acho que tem coisas bem interessantes ali, tá bom? Espero que seja útil para todos vocês. No final, a gente tem mais algumas palavrinhas.
Hey all, I'm Dennis. Thank you for the introduction. And I'm the CEO and founder of Convert.com. And indeed, I have a presentation for you. Let me show you. So I'm with Convert. And for today's topic, we're going to take a look at what happens after the optimize sunset, Google Optimize sunset. I'm going to explore the market and the impact it has on you as your business and on the entire world. So I'm Dennis. I'm officially the Chief Happiness Officer at Convert.com, which basically means I'm the CEO since 2009 and trying to make my team and customers happy as much as I can. I've invested around 20,000 hours, I think, now in conversion optimization. We are a team of 30 plus converters right now for the last 13 years operational, and the last 7 years have been fully remote. And I think something special, is we run a conscious business model, which basically we care a lot about our team members, and we don't have a hierarchy. We work in an holacracy model. If you're curious what that means, go to holacracy.org. You can take a look at how we run our company. Something really important to me personally and also to the rest of the converters is we run on a carbon neutral infrastructure, and we have right now a 13 times carbon positive company. Basically, it means we offset everything we cause in damage in the world by tree planting and carbon credits. Convert is an A/B testing tool, so where you control the original versus a variation and see what is happening. This is called A/B testing or experimentation. If you're here on a webinar, that basically means that you know what an experiment is, but I want to remind you that you're always experimenting every day in your personal life, every day in your business. Most of the time, you actually don't know the impact of your experiments. So you make a change of a habit, you make a change in a PPC campaign, and you just monitor the impact in time. An A/B test runs that experiment in real time, and you can actually measure the effects of that. So this is a big difference. At the bottom of every slide, you'll find my personal email address, dennis@convert.com, or you can find me on linkedin.com, Dennis van der Heijden. So why an experiment? For example, I give you a PPC campaign as an experiment. You spend 100,000 real a month on a paid ads campaign. The click maybe costs 50 real, gives you 2,000 visitors to your website, or in this case, maybe a landing page. Your conversion rate maybe 10%, gives you 200 sales. With a margin of 25% on 3,000 real, you're basically getting 150,000 real in profit. The investment was 100,000, 150,000 profit, basically 50,000 is left over. Now, if you focus on A/B testing, and it definitely doesn't work on the first go, so it's definitely a process that you need to learn. But assume over a couple of experiments, you get a 10% conversion lift on that campaign. That converts into 15,000 real extra that you can then invest. That investment you can take, for example, by reinvesting in the PPC campaign. Now you're buying 300 more visitors, 31 conversions, and again, more profit. Another thing you can do with that money is invest in more conversion optimization, so get a bigger team of developers and analysts. You can also buy some trees and go carbon neutral like we are. But just telling you how this works is really important, because you can reinvest that money. And this is what successful companies do. They basically keep experimenting with their paid ads, with their home pages, with organic traffic, and from each experiment they learn. Now, it is not easy to get a winning experiment of 10% improvement lift. That's definitely not an easy choice. It's easier to buy more traffic. But as soon as you get the experimentation mindset, you can basically outpace the competitors, not copying their stuff, but basically learning what your users and your visitors like, and so setting yourself apart from the competitors. So it is a constant cycle of research, setting goals, getting hypotheses correctly formulated, collecting data, determine the audience that you need, creating variations, run the test, and then analyze the results, and then keep going. Even if you don't get a winner, you learn something. So you learn that something doesn't work. That is super important, because you won't do that again. And then you can tell your colleagues, and you can tell the PPC team, and you can tell the copywriters, you can tell the content team. And more you get closer to the persona and the personality of your visitors. And eventually you'll get your wins, and that converts in real, and that will convert in more money for PPC campaigns, etc. So I think it's a really interesting process, and of course that's why I started Convert. So the market that Google Optimize leaves behind is interesting ones. There are around 250 domains we identified that have Google Optimize installed, of which only 25,000 of those are actual accounts. So the rest are just domains that fall under the same account, so an average of 10 domains on their account. We found, for example, specific accounts have 15,000 or 1,500 domains under one account. So there's 5,000 active accounts right now that basically converts into an 18% of the Google Optimize installs being used. That's probably because a free tool is considered free, but every tool you install has a consequence. So the Google Optimize tool that you've installed, or the Convert tool that you install, will slow down your traffic slightly, but it will. And 18% of Google Optimize is actually used. If we look at Convert experiments installs, 88% of those are used. So there's a lot more active use. Now, what's going to happen to the market? We've seen some interesting things happening in the market, and if you look at these data, this is what's going to happen. Right now, you can buy different tools. This is a list of some of them that are interesting. Optimizely will set you 100,000 US dollars, AB Tasty 50, and Chameleon maybe 30,000 a year. There's a real interesting plan for VWO, which is a free plan under 50,000 users. And then you have Convert with a set of paid plans. For example, 100,000 will be $200, and 500,000, for example, will give you enough traffic for 699 euros. Dollars. Then you also have Google GA4, which is probably going to be integrating with all the tools above. And you have Google PageSense. It's also definitely an interesting tool to look at if you have very little traffic. It also have tools like heat maps and things like that. So definitely something to explore. So this is the space of the A/B testing tools. What's going to happen to all those tools? So these are the tools that we consider our competitors. These are also the most installs in the world. So the most installs in the world is basically Optimizely. It has 20,000 active accounts, according to our estimations. VWO around 9,000, Google Optimize 5,000, of which of the Google Optimize accounts, only 2,500 have one test, currently running around 2,200, anywhere between 2 and 5 tests, and 300 accounts are probably the Google Optimize 360 accounts with 5 tests or more. AB Tasty, also a big player, 2,500 active accounts in the world, and Convert 1,800 active paid accounts. So what do we think is going to happen? So there are 5,000 active accounts on the market to be divided over the current players. Optimizely will probably take 100 of the Google Optimize 360 accounts. It's a big player. It has really big marketing budgets, and we think it takes 100 of those 360. Looking at $100,000 a year, that will probably add another $1 million to their revenue. VWO, we think, will take most of the accounts. So they go from 9,000 to 10,000 paid accounts and probably take on 5,000 free accounts. They probably take pretty much all the accounts that have one test or no tests. So they will all probably go to VWO. Convert, we expect to grow to 3,000 active paid accounts. We only do paid accounts. We don't have free accounts. AB Tasty, Chameleon, and the others will all take around 100 of the very big accounts. So that's our prediction, what's going to happen to the market. So this is probably going to be your new top 5. Should you be testing? Now that's interesting. If you're in this presentation, you think you should be testing, and that's probably not for everybody. So I think a big chunk of the people that will watch me now are probably not a good fit for A/B testing. So you should go to convert.com/calculator. There's also calculators for statistical significance in A/B testing. You can search those up for CXL. There's a couple of those out there in the world. We also have one. So you really need a good volume of traffic to be able to test. We consider 50 to 100,000 at a 1% conversion rate, probably an interesting group for testing. So I don't think if you have 10,000 visitors, you should be going to focus on A/B testing. I would focus on traffic generation and SEO. Because to be able to run a significant A/B test, you really need, even with 100,000 visitors, for example, to predict a 20% lift. So going from a 1% conversion rate to 1.2 conversion rate on one single test to be able to get a pretty interesting test going that's statistically valid. So go and take a look at convert.com calculator to see if you can actually A/B test. Anybody under 50,000, I would definitely go to those calculators to see if this is where you should spend your energy, or you should focus on copywriting. Maybe you should actually make changes without A/B testing them, and then monitoring the conversion rates in time. You can get better images, you can focus on PPC or SEO, but I don't think A/B testing is probably a thing that you should be focusing on right now. What is interesting about convert.com? So we have, for example, 90 integrations that I think is something that you should be able to take use of. So for example, we have a really good Shopify integration with a custom app that you can install, and it will instantly install an app on your Shopify environment for tracking. I think something that we do really well and even significantly better than Google Optimize is, for example, detecting SRM, sample size mismatch, and A/A testing, for example, which is always needed as the start of every experiment. I think something that is important when you're selecting A/B testing tools, there's a whole bunch of them, but they're all very different in pricing. If you go and explore a Google Optimize 360 account and explore an alternative, consider convert.com, but there's a lot of players out there that will probably charge you $100,000, and you can get amazing tools for that. We are a very straightforward tool. We're like the IKEA of the space where you can basically get everything done, but we do miss that top 5% of that very specific technical setups that you may need as your company. What we do really well, and you can take a look at every other site that basically ranks different A/B testing tools, we're really good at support. We have really technical people on support for chat, email, forums, phone, and basically 24/7 support. We also can do onboarding and training, and compared to Google Optimize, you basically were left in the cold there on the forum for the last 2 years. Privacy is something we also really care about. Of course, GDPR compliant, but also the way we deal with your data inside Convert is very unique. We won't share anything outside of Convert. Inside Convert, we don't store any personal data or personal identifiable information, PII, and everything is locked away in servers in Frankfurt, Germany. The entire infrastructure is carbon neutral, so we protect the planet. And not only that, we basically would like to make a positive impact, so we buy a lot of trees and do carbon credit offsets, up to 13 times our entire company output. And basically, we're a whole bunch of positive people in general. So what can we do for the Brazilian market, where I see the most benefits? Well, things are tough with the real. It's basically a conversion rate that's really, conversion to the US dollar, which makes it really complicated to buy a $100,000 tool. So for the Brazilian market, I think very specifically, you'll be able to get a tool where you can test a lot of traffic at very affordable rates. The benefits that Brazil has, it is one language, one country, one legal entities for the entire country. And basically you have enough traffic going on the web to be able to run A/B tests for the bigger brands that are present today. We're going to run not only web testing, but you can get an SDK for full stack servers for us, the iOS and Android in the next couple of weeks. You'll be able to find that on the GitHub page of Convert. I think basically the solution for Brazil is affordable tools and where traffic is affordable to be able to run A/B tests. And I think we have a very appealing offer in US dollars that allows you to test a lot. I think you'll be able to explore us, an alternative VWO, so take free trials on those. Those are the only tools I know of that have free trials, and also PaidSense, of course. Zoho PaidSense has a free trial plan. So explore Convert, VWO, and Zoho PaidSense and see which one you like. At the end of this demo, you'll get a link as well to a Supersonic landing page where you'll get a 30-day trial for Convert. If you go to convert.com, you get a 15 days trial. But if you register after this webinar on the link that we're giving you, you'll be able to get a 30-day trial and explore the tool at no cost, no credit card needed. Just explore it, see how you like it, chat with our team. They're there to help you out. And I hope this helped you today. Have a lovely day.
Fica aqui nosso muito obrigado ao Denis e a todo o time da Convert pelo ótimo material, pelas explicações e por essa consideração aí com o mercado brasileiro. E para aqueles que ainda estão nesse processo, né, de escolha, de decisão, de qual ferramenta usar, né, quando o Google Optimize de fato não estiver mais disponível, ou até antes disso, para aqueles, né, que já estiverem se antecipando, fique à vontade para contar com a ajuda da Supersonic, para navegar dentre tantas opções e apoiar você em qualquer cenário que seja, né, de acordo com o que for o cenário ideal, tá bom? Um ótimo começo, como até o próprio Denis comentou, pode ser fazendo trial, né, de várias ferramentas. Né? No caso da Convert, por exemplo, a gente vai ter um link especial, como ele comentou, para fazer um trial estendido, né, com algumas opções extras ali também. E, eventualmente, a gente vai ter aqui outros parceiros dando sua visão e, como sempre, né, se precisar de ajuda, não só nessa parte das ferramentas, de todo o ferramental envolvendo experimentação e testes AB, né, conte com a gente para qualquer apoio nos seus esforços aí de otimização de conversão e de experimentação. Então, seja ali para auditorias de CRO, criação de sites ou de landing pages focados em CRO, em conversão, né, treinamentos, outsourcing ou mesmo, né, os clássicos programas de CRO, programas completos de experimentação para quem quiser ter o nosso apoio numa base praticamente diária, tá bom? Vai ser um prazer apoiar você, né, não só para aumentar a sua taxa de conversão, né, mas também para outros pontos dos seus esforços de entender o cenário aí das suas interfaces, né? Da mesma forma que a gente hoje faz e apoia com várias empresas de vários tamanhos e de vários segmentos, inclusive para sites com menos de 50 mil ou 100 mil visitas, né, mensais, como o Denis comentou. Existem também formas, né, de apoiar esses cenários para otimizar as taxas de conversão em receita e faturamento final. Fique à vontade, conte conosco, né, entrando, né, ou ali no nosso site, enviando formulário, mandando e-mail, respondendo algum dos e-mails, né, dessa campanha diretamente. Para a gente vai ser um prazer enorme trocar figurinhas, né, e comentar e discutir caminhos para os seus esforços de otimização de conversão. Um grande abraço e até a próxima.